So I have used both the iPhone 15 Pro and 16 Pro as my daily drivers for long enough to have a pretty good idea of these phones, enough to recommend them or not. And the one thing I've learned about these phones is that they're very similar. In fact, I feel like the 16 Pro compared to the 15 Pro might just be one of the smallest, if not the smallest spec bump ever on an iPhone. And given the fact that the 15 Pro is about a year and a half old at this point, and it's about 40% or so cheaper than the 16 Pro, while still having like 90% of the features the 16 Pro has, this just feels like a better deal to me. However, judging by the comments on my last video about the 15 Pro, it's very clear that a lot of you don't really agree with the idea of buying a 15 Pro instead of the 16 Pro. And that's mainly due to two reasons. Probably the biggest one, overheating, and probably the most important one, battery life. So I decided to put your claims or your opinions to the test, and I have some results which we'll get to. But I want to start with build quality first because it's also very important. While these phones may look very similar, and they are for the most part, the one key difference here is that the 16 Pro has ceramic shield glass 2.0 at the front, which is supposed to be, according to Apple, 50% more stronger than the ceramic shield that the 15 Pro has. And ceramic shield in general is supposed to be more shadow resistant than just normal Gorilla Glass. Other things are exactly the same. Both have a titanium frame. I personally love the color on the 15 Pro, this natural titanium. I don't like this desert titanium color on the 16 Pro, so just something you might want to consider while you're purchasing one of these. But both have Gorilla Glass on the back with a matte finish, and both are IP68 water and dust resistant. The 16 Pro does weigh a little bit more than the 15 Pro, and it is also slightly bigger, which I'll get to. But overall, I just feel like the 15 Pro is easier to use, especially with one hand. In terms of the screen, yes, the 16 Pro has a slightly bigger 6.3-inch screen versus the 6.1-inch screen on the 15 Pro. However, both are exactly the same in terms of sharpness because both have a 460 ppi, which stands for pixels per inch. The 16 also has slightly thinner bezels, but it's almost not noticeable. Like even if you put both side by side, the 15 still looks very modern. It doesn't look outdated in any way. Both screens go up to 120 Hertz, go up to 2000 nits of brightness, which is plenty bright. You shouldn't have any problems using these phones outdoors, even directly under sunlight. However, on the 16 Pro, the screen actually goes all the way down to 1 nit, which is actually noticeable in a dark environment. It might actually be easier to use the 16 Pro. It might put less strain on your eyes. But nonetheless, you can comfortably use these phones in almost any lighting condition. Now, since both phones have OLED screens, they have great viewing angles, amazing contrast ratios, and they're color accurate. They're just great in every way. You even have the always-on display on both of them. Now, in terms of performance, the 15 Pro has the A17 Pro chip inside, and the 16 Pro has the A18 Pro chip inside. So of course, the 16 Pro is more powerful in almost every way. However, that's only really noticeable for like graphically intensive tasks. For everyday tasks, you simply cannot tell the difference. Calling, texting, browsing, watching videos, opening apps, there's literally zero difference. So considering like most of the people are going to use these phones for those basics kind of stuff, you're not going to notice any of these phones being slow for at least the next few years. The only benefit you have with the 16 Pro is that this will get another year of software updates, but the 15 Pro still has plenty more years left. For those of you who do actually use your phones for graphically intensive tasks like gaming or video editing or something, then yes, you will get better performance on the 16 Pro, at least in theory, because it's not really noticeable to me even if I try to play games. But yes, 16 will be better. The 15 Pro, however, will still be plenty good because the 17 Pro chip is still very capable. You're not going to feel like you're limited in any way. Plus, the A17 Pro chip is what allows this phone to have Apple Intelligence. The normal iPhone 15s with the A17 chip, not the Pro one, they don't have Apple Intelligence. So I think the only thing that is missing is visual intelligence, which can be accessed by holding down the camera control button on the 16 Pro. However, in my opinion, Apple Intelligence in general, at least so far, kind of useless. I don't really find myself using it that much. But okay, let's talk about overheating. How much of an issue is it really on the 15 Pro? Because when this phone came out, a lot of people were complaining, especially on Twitter, that this phone's overheating, and it wasn't an actual problem that Apple had to fix through software updates. But a lot of people also claim that this phone has actual thermal problems in terms of the design. So it's like a hardware issue. So I ran somewhat of a experiment in mostly a controlled environment, and I basically pushed both of these phones to their absolute limit for like an hour and a half. And the results I got were kind of interesting because for the most part, both phones seem to get warm the same way, like by the same amount, with the 15 Pro running maybe a degree or a half warmer than the 16 Pro. And at certain points, the 16 Pro actually got much warmer than the 15 Pro, especially during 4K video recording. So I guess recording in 4K is more taxing for the 16 Pro, or maybe there's more stuff going on in terms of the post-processing or just processing in real time. That's why maybe it heats up more, but that could also mean that the 16 Pro has better heat dissipation. Maybe that's why I measured it hotter than the 15 Pro. But then when I looked at the battery temperature on the 16 Pro, that was also higher in the same situation. So that kind of confused me, because if the phone is good at heat dissipation, the battery should be lower at temperature. At least that's what I think. But since this was during the video recording test, I can't say for sure that it was, the heat dissipation abilities of one of these phones or not, because there could be other processing stuff going on with the video on the 16 Pro that could account for some of the differences. Now, someone also mentioned in my last video that the 15 Pro, while using outdoors, tends to get darker, the screen, after like a few minutes of using in direct sunlight. Now, I don't really have any sun over here, so I kind of have to simulate the sun. And I kind of did that by putting this giant studio light really close to these phones to sort of match the lux or the light intensity of direct sunlight. So after about 15 minutes, the 15 Pro did actually get dimmer all of a sudden. And then from there, I think it just kept on getting darker slowly and gradually. The 16 Pro, however, got darker somewhere around the 20-minute mark. And from there, it also kept getting darker and darker gradually. And eventually, around the 25-minute mark, both screens became so dark that it was very difficult to see the screens and especially read anything off of them. You can see when I put the 13 Pro right beside them, just how much brighter the 13 Pro looks, even though the 13 Pro has a much lower peak brightness than both of these phones. So overall, what I've been able to conclude by these two tests is that, yes, the 15 Pro does, I guess, overheat, you can say, and the 16 Pro also does, but it's slightly better. It's just slightly, especially about the brightness test. You're probably not going to use your phone directly under sunlight for 15 minutes straight, so it should be fine. Even if that happens, it's probably not the end of the day. I mean, you can probably just cover the screen, like the old days when phones weren't as bright. I think you can get by. Now, when it comes to battery life, the iPhone 16 Pro has a 3,582 milliamp hour battery inside, and the 15 Pro has a 3,274 milliamp hour battery inside, which is actually a pretty big difference. However, from my experience of using both of these phones as my daily drivers, I haven't really noticed a huge difference between the battery life of these two phones. On both of them, I can get like 5 to 6 hours with like 20 to 30% battery remaining, and up to 7 hours with close to 0% battery remaining at the end of the day. And the 15 Pro that I have is currently at 97% battery health, and the 16 Pro is, of course, at 100% battery health. So I don't know what it is. I don't know why I haven't noticed a huge difference between the battery life of these two phones, even though the 16 Pro has more physical battery. The 16 Pro does have a slightly larger screen, and we know the screen is one of the most power intensive components on a phone, so could potentially be that. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, battery life at the end of the day, when it comes to real world usage, is almost identical on both phones. Maybe slightly better on the 16 Pro, considering if you buy it new and it's gonna have 100% battery health, and you can't really find, or it's probably difficult to find, a 15 Pro with 100% battery health. And one pretty big difference between these two phones is when it comes to charging speeds, because the 16 Pro can charge at 45 watts wired and 25 wirelessly, while the 15 Pro can charge at, I believe, around 30 watts wired and 15 wirelessly. Now, let's talk about cameras, because Apple will tell you that there is a huge difference between these two phones, but it's not really true, at least when you look at the actual results from these cameras. So both phones have 4 cameras in total. The first one is the main wide-angle camera. It's a 48 megapixel sensor on both of them, and hardware-wise, it's exactly the same thing. However, software-wise, there are some subtle differences. The 16 Pro tends to look slightly more color accurate in certain situations, and it's maybe a little bit more natural looking in terms of sharpness, but the 15 Pro still looks really nice. They both have good contrast contrast, good dynamic range, and they're just great cameras overall. The second camera is the ultra wide, and here's probably the biggest difference because the 16 Pro has a 48 megapixel sensor while the 15 Pro has a 12 megapixel sensor, and the difference is definitely noticeable. But you do have to look carefully. You really have to find the differences, but it's there. The difference is there. The 16 definitely looks a bit sharper. The third camera, the telephoto camera, is also slightly different. On the 16 Pro, it's a 5x zoom, which is equivalent to 120 millimeters, while on the 15 Pro, it's a 3x zoom, which is equivalent to 77 millimeters. Now, if you know anything about photography, you probably know that taking portraits at 77 millimeters is probably more common than 120 millimeters. So I personally prefer the 3x than the 5x. However, you do get more max range with the 16 Pro. So it really depends on what you're looking for. The fourth camera is your selfie camera hiding inside that dynamic island. And it's also very similar on both phones. They both have autofocus. They both are just as wide, but again, small, subtle differences in terms of colors. A few other things that the 16 Pro has in terms of camera that the 15 Pro doesn't include 4K 120 frames per second versus the 4K at 60 frames per second on the 15 Pro, and the slightly better microphones on the 16 Pro. So to put it simply, of course, the 16 Pro is the better one over here. It's the latest and greatest you can get from Apple at the moment. But the 15 Pro is still, in my opinion, a really good phone despite all the controversial things about this phone, the overheating, the battery, and all of that. I still think it's not that big of a deal. So personally, if I was choosing between these two phones, I would actually go for the 15 Pro, at least based on my experience of using these two phones, just considering how much you save by going with this phone. So that's all for this video. If you enjoyed watching, consider subscribing, and I'll see you later.